Hey, what's up, SLG? Ghost here with another tutorial video. This one I'm going to cover just real quick the blueprints and factory, uh, which that's how you're able to spawn things like this base that you're looking at right now. This is a prefab blueprint that comes stock with the game. Everybody has access to this blueprint, and I'm going to show you guys how to access those and get those into the game right now. So what you want to do first off is hit your tab button, and this is going to bring up your inventory. Now across the top you've got the different options. The one right in the middle, if you hover your mouse over it, it says blueprints. So if you click on that, then it brings you to this page here. Now on this page, this is where your blueprints are. Okay, so on the left hand side you've got a list of all the available blueprints that you have access to. Now you can download blueprints from the workshop on Steam. It's great. There are some people out there who really know what they're doing when it comes to building things from scratch, and they will throw their blueprints up on the Steam Workshop, and they are available for anybody to subscribe to those blueprints, and then you can bring those blueprints into your game. I personally, I depend on that. I'm thankful for it because I kind of suck at building things from scratch, so I got to use other people's blueprints, which is fine. This game, it lets you build whatever you want. So if you're creative and you like to build things from the bottom up, then this game is definitely for you. For those of us that are not as creative and maybe don't have the time that it takes to build some of these things, or the ability or the knowledge base, whatever it may be, we have the ability to download workshop blueprints and bring other people's creations into our save games, which is really, really cool, I think, because if you go onto the workshop and take a look at some of the things up there, they are absolutely amazing. There's a few people top of the list as far as I'm concerned. Spange, Jay Randall, several others. These guys are absolutely great at building things. I would recommend that you hop over on the workshop, take a look at some of the blueprints there. Look up Jay Randall and Spange on YouTube. I'll try to throw a couple links in the video description if I remember to. But they're great. They build things. They're aesthetically pleasing. They're functional. They're really good blueprints, and some of them are kind of essential if you really want to get in-game type stuff. They work really well. I recommend everybody go and check them out. So back to what I was saying. So we're on our blueprint screen here, and we have a list of all of the stock blueprints. We're just going to stick with the stock blueprints that everybody has access to, for the sake of this video. So we've got some options here, obviously, but let's say that we're tired of walking around all over this size class 5 planet, whatever the case may be. We want to bring in a hover vessel. So over here on the left hand side, we've got some options. This is all of the blueprints. This is CVs only. This is SVs, HVs, and bases. So you can toggle which category you're looking at. We want to bring an HV in, so we're going to click on HVs, and we now have a list of HV only blueprints. So you want to look through here and you want to find one of these blueprints. Let's go with this one. All right, so there are some things on the right hand side now that you need to pay attention to, specifically two things in particular. The unlock level, which for this particular blueprint you can see that the unlock level is level 3. So what that means is you have to be level 3, your character has to be level 3 in game before you'll be able to start production of this blueprint. As you can see, it's blue for me because I am level 3. So I'm good to go as far as that blueprint is concerned. But if I wanted to bring in, let's say, a level 5 blueprint, I am not level 5, so it is red for me. Now I could still add the ingredients to this. I could still send it to my factory and be working on throwing stuff into the factory to make this blueprint, I just wouldn't be able to officially start production until I hit level 5. All right, so let's go back to our level 3 here. And we've decided that, okay, this is the one that we want. The next thing that you want to look at is your CPU efficiency right here. CPU tier class and CPU efficiency. CPU was introduced to the game a couple of updates back, and it really changed the way that you have to build things. Now you have to maintain a certain level of efficiency with your builds, otherwise they're not going to work right. So one of the things that you want to look at is the CPU efficiency right here. You want to make sure that that's a decent number. It doesn't have to be 100%, but you want it to be a decent number. Like I would say like 90 or maybe 80 is probably the lowest that I would want something working at. But just if you've got a real low efficiency here or 0, I wouldn't bother with that blueprint. Unless you want to go into a creative session and tear it apart and then make it CPU compliant, which that's always an option. But for starters, let's just take a look at this, make sure it's a decent number. If it is, roll with it. So the next thing that you look at is the resources and the time. So right here is a list of the resources. This is the raw materials that this blueprint requires for you to be able to manufacture this blueprint. This right here is the time that it will take once you start production of the blueprint. This is how much time it will take before that blueprint is finished and you're able to spawn it in game. So this is the blueprint that we want. We've decided that this is not unreasonable and it's got decent time. We're CPU efficient and our unlock level is good. So we're going to click to factory. That's going to bring up this screen here. Now, a couple of things to note. I've actually got some stuff in my factory already. So this side here is the stuff that is required to be able to make this blueprint. The stuff on this side is what you have in your factory at this time. So as you can see, when it comes to carbon substrate and iron, we're good. It requires 44 iron. We have 969 iron in our factory, so that number is green. I cannot add any more iron to the factory. It's green. It's good. There's enough in there. I don't need it. Same with carbon substrate right here. So what we do still need is we need silicon and we need copper. So you can either add the bare resources. Let's say we got 4 copper ingots and we want to add them here. We're at 25, we need 46. By adding those, that took us up to 29 copper ingots. And you can just keep going and adding, one piece at a time until you fulfill that, and then you can start production once all these numbers are green. Now, you can obviously put more than what is required if you want to, and the extra will just remain in your factory and you'll be able to use it later on. Now, right now you cannot pull items or resources out of your factory. Once you put them into the factory, then they're gone. They're gone in the sense that you can't take them back out. They're still there. You can use them. As you can see, I've got 969 iron in my factory right now. I'm only going to use 44 of it on this blueprint, so I'll have a substantial amount left over when I'm done to use towards my next blueprint. The next thing that I wanted to show you, there's another way that you can add items to your factory here. Down here in the bottom of my inventory, I've got several items. These are built items, such as we've got an advanced constructor, we've got some thrusters, we've got a generator, and we've got some components here. So you can also add these items to your factory, and what's going to happen as you add these items, you're going to get the raw resources from those items, but you're also going to get an added benefit of a time reduction to your total production time here. So I'm going to add this small generator to the factory here, and I want you to watch what happens to these numbers here, even the green ones. They'll still go up even though I can't add that resource by itself. Because that is a basic resource of this item, that's still going to give me some credit. So all of these numbers are going to go up, and this number here should go down a little bit. Alright, so we're going to take our generator and drop it in, and as you can see, all of our numbers went up and our time went down a little bit here. Now you can also do the same thing with components. For example, let's say that we wanted to throw these computers in. Same thing, our numbers went up, our time went down. Now some components are going to give you bigger time reductions, and some components you may not even notice a time reduction. It's taking milliseconds away instead of seconds or minutes or hours or whatever. But you're going to get an added benefit of time reduction so long as you're throwing in items or components that are already made. You can have extra components from either making them yourself, or say you're raiding POIs and you've got your base already has an advanced constructor. You don't need another one because you've already got one. So what you can do is you can take this advanced constructor and you can throw it right there. And now, as you can see, all of our numbers are green, and our production time has decreased from the original 6 minutes and something. Now we're down to 2 minutes and 13 seconds. So once all of our numbers are green, what you want to do then is you want to start production. And over here on the right hand side, you'll see now that we have a little over 2 minutes until our blueprint is finished and ready to spawn into game. So what this means now, our factory is busy, our factory is working. So while you have something in your factory and it's working, you cannot add anything else to your factory. Like, let's say, okay, I've got that blueprint cooking, I'm thinking ahead, the next thing that I'm going to want is going to be an SV. I want this one, I want to send it to my factory. Well, you can't until your factory finishes its current production. Okay, you do have the option to abort the production if you need to for whatever reason. Let's say that you started that and then you decide, oh wait, I don't want that one, let me just abort production, and then that will stop the production of that blueprint and you can change it and work on something else instead. But yeah, so while your factory is going, you can't add anything to it. You can't you can still like browse and do stuff. You can go and do other stuff in the game or whatever, but you basically have to just wait until that's done. Now I am in a creative server. Well, I'm in a survival, but I've got some cheat codes active. I could actually go into my console commands and tell this blueprint to just finish up. So what you do is, just for the sake of speeding this up, alright, and now you see that our blueprint has finished successfully. So what you do now, once you've got your blueprint done, you've got it through your factory, it's finished, where does it go? Open tab up again, go into your blueprints, and now you will see at the very top of your list on the left hand side you have a completed section. So you click on the completed blueprint, and now you have the option to spawn that blueprint. So what you're going to do is you're going to click spawn, and you're going to go to the screen here. Obviously, red, it won't let you spawn it right here. Okay, there's another object in the spawn area. So what you need to do, you need to move it until it's green. Now, it could be red Like on the server, for example, if you're trying to spawn something close to a POI or a resource deposit, I have it set to where you can't do that. You need to be a certain distance away from things to be able to spawn items in. So if you've got it way up here and it's still red and you're thinking, what the crap, maybe look around, make sure you're not next to something or close to a POI or a resource, and just get away from it until you get a green box. Once you've got the green box, just simply left click on your mouse and it will spawn your brand new hovercraft in. Once you've gotten it to this point, then you need to fuel it, you need to fill it up with ammo or pentax it or whatever the case is. So you just walk up to it, you hit your handy dandy P menu, it will bring up the control panel, and then from here you'll be able to manage your fuel. We've now given it fuel, so we can now hop on it, turn the power on, and you're good to go. Now you have a nice little hover vehicle that you can get around the planet on, and you don't have to walk everywhere. So that's the quick and easy on how the factory and the blueprints work. I hope that it's helpful, and I hope that you guys use it, and I hope to see you all in game. See ya.